The Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Wildlands closed beta dropped last weekend, so let's talk about that. First off, the character customization. You've probably already seen several videos of people going through and showing you all the different things that you can customize on your character, such as the hats, the masks, the glasses, the shirts, the gloves, the vests, the backpacks, the pants, and the boots, as well as the ghillie suits that you can put on top of your entire character. There's different colors that you can put on your clothing, such as different styles of shirts, different colors on the pants, different variations of pants, with or without knee pads, different types of gloves, things of that nature. You can also change your weapon. So every single weapon can be customized in different variations, from the barrels to the muzzles, such as suppressors, the magazine, if you wanted to have semi-auto or 3-round bursts, variations, there's scopes, buttstocks, all sorts of things that you can do to customize your gun. You can also paint your weapon and change each part to be painted different colors. The way you get more weapons is by finding weapon crates throughout the map, and by getting weapon parts for all your weapons. You have to go around the map and find the weapon parts. That leads me into tagging supplies. You go to different areas and you go to different enemy locations, and you'll see different boxes or barrels that are marked with oil, medical supplies, electronics, and you tag them and you get these supply points that you can use later on when you're upgrading your skills. To upgrade your skills, you have to go and find these medals so you can have skill points and increase your skill level to unlock different skills in the skill tree. So you can't just increase your level and then get a skill. You have to have enough supplies for the skill, and you have to have the correct amount of skills for that skill. It's kind of complicated when you're telling someone about it, but when you look at it yourself, it's not too bad. It makes the game have more longevity, so you can have more fun playing the game and not just go straight through all the missions and then be bored, which a lot of people do. However, there's problems with the skills, at least in the closed beta, since the map was huge and there was a lot of things to do, but the skills didn't really play a big part. Some of the skills seemed useless, at least at the beginning stage. They seemed extremely useless, such as increasing the length for your drone to be deployed. It seemed like it wasn't that much of a difference. I still had to go 200 meters from the objective I was trying to recon and deploy my drone so I could see it, or increasing the length of the zoom on binoculars didn't really seem to have changed. Some of the skills I didn't even bother with, such as decreased noise when going stealth. I feel like that was pretty pointless because it's really easy to be stealthy in the game as it was. Another thing you can do is get a skill that is worthless when playing multiplayer because it only affects AI when you're playing in single player. So make sure when you're upgrading your skills you pay attention to the descriptions of them, because some of them won't affect multiplayer if you choose to play multiplayer with your friends. The story is pretty much you're a soldier that goes into Bolivia and you're going back to the supplies. You're stealing supplies to help the rebels out so they can fight their own civil war against the cartel, since the cartel have taken over pretty much all of Bolivia, such as the government. Since they control the government, they also can get away with doing all their drug trafficking, which you're supposed to stop because the drugs are coming into America. If you're a fan of the Netflix series Narcos, you kind of get the idea of what's going on, but it's more of a military sense instead of a police sense like Detective Murphy. Another thing in the story is you're just doing a bunch of missions and taking out rebel bosses, so I don't know why you're helping out the rebels since you're the one dealing with all the cartel bosses. So if you're going to be killing all the bosses anyway, there's really no point in helping the rebels. But the rebels do help you. For helping them, you can call in mortars, you can have vehicle supply drop-offs, you can summon some rebels to help do a distraction or help fight with you, and a few other things. Even those, besides the vehicle drop-off, if you're in an area where there's no vehicles spawning for some reason, you can spawn a vehicle and that's useful, but the mortar just seemed to cause more trouble than it was worth. The rebels, I would call them in and they wouldn't move into the objective several times. They would just stand outside of a base and not move, and I tried directing them, or they just wouldn't even spawn in certain areas. And so you have to wait for the timer and try it again, and the timer's like 2 minutes, but it still seemed like it wasn't worth it because they never seemed to come. So that was kind of a bummer with that, and that's pretty much the whole story, is killing bosses and doing missions. But it's really fun with the multiplayer, because I didn't play the single player, but a lot of people said it was really boring and like Metal Gear Solid 5. But I was playing multiplayer with my brother, and we had a blast going through the entire story. We played it twice. We didn't spend too much time. It took us a few hours because we were fucking around a lot, and we were playing on like the hardest difficulty, and some of you were like, well, I played it on the hardest difficulty and it only took me an hour to beat the entire beta. And it's like, okay, that's you, and you have fun doing that. But for me, we had a fun time, but there was a few issues playing in the online, and it was we're gonna go into some glitches. Healing, there was a healing glitch that only happened twice, and both times were different. There was one when I healed my brother, when I was done reviving him. On his, it still said he was dead, but on mine he was crouched. And then there was another healing time where I just couldn't heal him at all. There was really, like, he went down, I went up to him and tried healing him, and that was, like, nothing was happening. And that was a bummer. So that's one glitch. Another glitch was the camera flickering, and this happened a lot during the beta. And it was, the most minor one was I was in the back of an SUV looking out the back glass, and only in one angle, when I would turn the camera to one angle, my character's beard would flicker on and off. And that's no big deal. I mean, I can deal with something minor like that. But then there was times where in the distance, the game would flicker flashing, and that's usually in open world games. You get these weird flickers in the distance from I think the map rendering. But then there was a few problems where we would be standing in certain zones, we would be standing in certain parts, like on grass or something, and it'd be windy, and we would look around trying to figure out what's going on, and the screen would just be flashing black, and it wasn't until we got off the grass that it would stop. And this happened to my brother only once, and it happened to me once in 2 different locations, but it was the same. It was on grass, and like, it was, we don't know what was causing it. It was really strange. Another glitch, I'm not sure if it's the game or if it was a connection issue, because it doesn't tell you what your connection is in the game. But there was several instances where the game wasn't loading the same for both of us, and so I would see an enemy in front of us and we'd be driving in a car, and I would stop and I would tell my brother to shoot the guy, and he wouldn't shoot. And so I'd end up having to like get out and kill the guy or like run him over, and then my brother would see that the car was all fucked up and everything, but there was nothing there for him. And then there was a few times where we would be trying to get the fuck out of a base because we just blew cover and we were getting shot at by a whole bunch of people. So I'm running out of the base to a corner, I'm like, just follow me, and he would be running in a different direction. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And he said he was following me, and then on his game I disappeared and I was somewhere far away. And this isn't like a lag issue, this was several minutes where he was following like someone else. It was really weird. So that's another glitch. And they're not really game breaking like people have on the PC usually, like where games just, everything just stops rendering, or a helicopter will just explode for no reason. Don't really know why those happen on PC, but we were playing on the PlayStation 4. Now I'll go into my overall review of the beta. I really enjoyed it. I will most likely be picking it up. My brother's most likely going to be picking it up. We had a blast playing it. We feel like our play style and the fact that we're busy most of the time, the game will last a long time. Of course, there's going to be people that are going to blow straight through the game and then complain. And there's going to be people, the majority of people, who play the game single player and will complain about the single player because they don't have friends to play the game, and so they don't really get that fun experience of having to depend on other people. I feel like for a console game, it's really good since there's not much variety in this type of game genre. An open world third-person tactical shooter with a little bit of first-person in it. There's the tactical shooter of Rainbow Six Siege, which is a first-person tactical shooter with multiplayer, and you can play the game, but it's not open world. You have a small map. And then there's Metal Gear Solid 5, which you can say is a third-person open world tactical shooter, but it doesn't have multiplayer. And this one's like far-fetched, but GTA 5, you can play the game tactically if you want. There's missions. It's an open world game. You can't really do, like, there's more things to do in this Ghost Recon game than you can in GTA 5. And I feel like GTA 5 is probably the game that gets closest to this one. For a console game, that's why I think it's really good, because consoles don't have that much variety on it like PC does. If you're playing on PC, you most likely won't like this game. I'm not saying all PC gamers aren't going to like this, that's not what I'm saying, but there's more variety out there for PC gamers to play. They have several different games, several different tactical shooters, third person and first person, and both, such as Arma. It's probably the best tactical shooter out there, and it's a serious game. It can be played in fuck off mode if you want, but I mean, there's better games out there on PC, but for console, like I say, it's a great game. That was my review of Ghost Recon Wildlands. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and subscribe.
What you say? That you only meant well, 'cause you did. What you say? That it's all for the best, 'cause it is. What you say? That it's just what we need. You decided this. What you say?